Well, there's been a lot of rumors and thoughts in the past few days about the potential ticketing options when it comes to Epic Universe when it opens. And really, it's left most of us having more questions than answers, as Universal hadn't come out and said anything yet. But it seems that Universal has at least made some sort of statement on this matter over here at the Orlando Business Journal. And there's even some information in this article about annual pass holders and if they're going to have access to Epic Universe. So we're going to talk about that in this article real quick. So hi, I'm Jared with Capture the Magic, and we'll just get right into this. So like I said, this is from the Orlando Business Journal, and the headline is Universal Orlando shares details about Epic Universe tickets. So everything we had heard from since the rumors had been out was, potentially, again, it was all rumors that this was told to third-party ticket vendors and sellers and things like that. So the subline here says Universal Orlando ticket sales guidelines for third-party sellers say single-day passes for Epic Universe won't be sold at first. Universal Resort Orlando has released to third-party sellers its first wave of information about ticketing for Epic Universe. Vice President of Public Relations Allison Salagastoa, I probably messed that up, I apologize, of Universal told Orlando Business Journal, while more ticketing options will roll out later, the company is currently only speaking with its sales partners to get them ready for an upcoming sales effort. I personally believe that is going to be right around the time of D23 in August, whatever Disney's going to announce. I think this is when Universal may have their announcement for a lot of this stuff. So that's my guess, but that's just me looking at the lay of the land and them kind of having a little competition going on. The news followed a July 5th report in Attractions magazine that spelled out for third-party sellers how ticketing will first work. Guests buying tickets through Universal sales partners will have to buy a multi-day Universal Orlando ticket package with a 3-day minimum, all of which allot only 1 day at Epic Universe and will not include park hopping to or from the new park. At launch time, there will be no option to purchase a standalone single-day Epic Universe ticket. So we had a video, we already talked about that, but that is the rumor that has been out there. Meanwhile, editor and publisher Matt Roseboom qualified his magazine story by explaining it might not be the only news. He says, in the future, they may have different ticketing options, Roseboom told Orlando Business Journal, and I'm not sure if all ticketing agents receive the same information or just some. Plus, since this information has only been sent to ticket agents, it could change by the time Epic Universe opens. And I agree with that. I said all along, and I know a lot of you guys, you guys are great. You guys are leaving comments and talking about stuff. And a lot of people are making, decisions on, potential like annual pass holders and when they're going to take trips. I just want to put out there, like, nothing has been officially announced yet by Universal. And I imagine as well, like he said here, this can change. It's probably a pretty fluid situation. And I argued as well, this may also be them sort of feeling out the waters about how people react to this, how our annual pass holders reacting to this. So I think that's part of this as well. It says he was right. Salagastio, I apologize. She is from Universal, said among additional options to come are those for annual pass holders. She says, quote, we are introducing products in a phased approach, starting with multi-day ticket packages that include an opportunity to visit Epic Universe in addition to the entire Universal Orlando Resort for those planning vacations further out, she said. So while that information is not anything different from what we had assumed, this is coming straight from Universal themselves. So they are saying that they are going to have phased approach with multi-day ticket packages probably being the first one here, and eventually talking about annual pass holders. So I've said all along, I don't believe annual pass holders are going to be left in the dark. I think they're looking at this, and we'll talk about what they say right here about Epic Universe is going to be slammed. So they're just giving priority. I kind of look at this like giving priority to that group of people first, seeing how much that sells, and then having phased, rollout. Because if you're Universal, again, I don't have to like it personally, but I do understand, the people that are going to come for 3 to 5 to 7 days, those people getting first access to the tickets and ticket packages and things of that nature. I get it. I really do. So I don't think it's a bad approach in terms of from a business standpoint. And when you're going to have limited park capacity, I mean, capacity is going to be an issue, I'm sure. And they're not going to do a park reservation system. So this does make sense on that level. CEO Dennis Spiegel of International Theme Park Services said he has been hearing about the heavy-handed flow management strategy for Epic Universe for about 6 weeks. When it opens, Epic Universe is going to be slammed. Universal needs to control the spigot, especially early on, he said. I was at Universal when the Wizarding World of Harry Potter open, and once you got through the lines, you still had to wait for another 6 hours to get into Harry Potter, and we don't want that again. It turns out customer experience is exactly what Universal had in mind when crafting Epic Universe ticket policies. We plan to offer a range of ticket products to help manage the expected demand for Epic Universe and to ensure all guests visiting have a great experience at this groundbreaking park, said, I can't say her name very well, so the representative from Universal. Now, that's something that I forgot to mention in my last video, and that is something that is a very big aspect to this, and I do agree with this, is whatever, everybody's going to want to be there, especially opening day or very early on. I completely get that. But at the same time, people are not going to be happy if they get into a theme park, and like they mentioned here when the Wizarding World opened, and you're waiting 6 hours in line for rides, and you basically can't do anything in the park because it's so slammed. Being in a theme park shoulder to shoulder slammed and waiting forever for rides and attractions and food and shows and everything like that, it's not a good time. So the last thing Universal wants is people going and then reporting back, I had a terrible time. It was too crowded. Couldn't get anything done. What they would rather have, and I think your ideal scenario is you have a lot of demand, maybe, controlled, supply and demand here. So you control a little bit of the supply, but those people that go, and there's already demand, those people that are going to go and get in are going to be, ideally speaking, are going to go, man, that was awesome. I love that park. I love these rides. I love this food, blah, 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 which is only going to increase your potential demand versus having a lot of demand. People go, they have a miserable time. It's too crowded, whatever the situation is. And then potentially makes that demand go down because people are like, oh, I'm just going to wait. It's bad. So I think, we talked about in the other video too about potentially people putting off coming to Epic Universe because of the crowds. They're going, I'm not even going to mess with it. It's going to be too crowded. You do alleviate some of those concerns by having a system like this where you're saying, okay, we're going to phase this way. Obviously, and Universal is going to make more money off of people that are going to be there for 3 to 5 days. Again, I get it. So I think they're balancing that out. And then eventually, phase two is then single to, I would imagine phase two would probably be annual pass holders if I were to guess. If they're phasing this first one just for people that are getting 3-day plus ticket packages, the next phase would be, I would assume, annual pass holders, and then opening it up to single day ticket buyers. And again, there's been also rumors that there's going to be multiple months of annual pass holder previews to get access to, works the park through its kinks, that people get in there, try stuff out. You want to go through, your rehearsals with your annual pass holder group and not the general public. So if they go, it seems this is the way they're going, I feel like it'll go much better with the annual pass holder group. But I also don't think on opening day or week or whatever that annual pass holders are going to be completely left in the dark. But in terms of, are you going to be able to add Epic Universe to your annual pass? I don't know. I mean, I believe it took a couple of years once Volcano Bay opened before it was available to be added to your annual pass. But again, Volcano Bay also has limited capacity, much more compared to Epic Universe. Epic Universe is a big park. So we'll have to wait and see what that looks like. And if you're going to be able to right away add Epic Universe to your annual pass, I'm sure it's going to be for an increased cost. And now we're still also waiting on pricing. I haven't said any word about that, which we probably won't until they announced this. They said sometime. They're doing all this now because this is going to come out very soon. I also think this coincides with, we still have that last video of the Wizarding World that's going to come out. Again, my guess is this would all come out in August, maybe around the time of D23, to combat whatever Disney does announce. We're assuming they're going to have some fairly big announcements of stuff that's going to come to their parks. This would be a great counter to that if they can then say, that's great, but here's a brand new park you can get access to, whatever that time frame is. And again, I think it's going to be before the summer of 2025. There's a lot of evidence that points to that. And I think we're probably looking closer to a spring opening for Epic Universe, if not sooner, on that. So Universal has come out. They didn't say a lot, but they have come out and made a statement about this. So it does seem that it's beyond a rumor at this point, that it does seem that they are going to start out with those 3-day plus ticket packages, but then annual pass holders and more will be in the next phase. And again, we don't know what those phases look like. They probably are basing that off how well those sell and, the demand of it, basically. But we have heard from Universal, so I just want to make a quick video about that. And hopefully, I don't think that alleviates a lot of people's concerns for annual pass holders, but they did address it and say there will be options for annual pass holders as well. So I think that's something that, again, I wouldn't be making any trip decisions yet off this stuff because I do imagine it's a fluid situation. Things can change, and they very well may be changing off of the reaction they're seeing from the public. And they very may well have come out and finally said something about this because they were seeing a lot of people that were annual pass holders seemingly being like, hey, are we going to be left in the dark about this? And I think they're kind of maybe saying, okay, you guys are going to, it's going to be fine. We're not going to have details. So that may be a little bit of what this is as well. But we'll have to wait and see about more details. But that is going to do it for this video. So if you like this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel as we do lots of Universal Studios, Epic Universe, Disney World, and pop culture news around here. And let us know in the comments what you think about this from Universal. And does this alleviate any of your fears of an annual pass holder or someone that's looking to come to Epic Universe when it opens? And until next time, we will see you in the parks.